Head of a parliamentary inquiry into foreign investment in residential property has foreshadowed a crackdown on investors flouting the law. Coalition MP Kelly O'Dwyer has accused the watchdog of being asleep at the wheel and failing to prosecute anyone in 8 years. The attack comes as the Reserve Bank expresses its growing unease with the housing market. Here's finance correspondent Philip Lasker.
As Australia's property market bubbles away, an extraordinary attack from a government MP on the Foreign Investment Review Board.
I think there has been a failure of leadership in FIRB.
Kelly O'Dwyer chairs a parliamentary inquiry tasked with looking into foreign investment into the housing market.
I think FIRB has been asleep at the wheel. I think they need to be far more proactive in enforcing the law. I think because they haven't been proactive in enforcing the law, that's the reason why people have got less confidence in our foreign investment regime right now.
Ms O'Dwyer says 8 years without one single prosecution for breaches of foreign investment rules is unbelievable. There have been claims that foreign investors have been flouting restrictions, buying properties in the name of family members who are Australian residents or illegally purchasing established homes. But the committee chair stopped short of blaming foreign investors for pumping up property prices. She did, however, signal tougher penalties more closely aligned to the size of the transaction and a broader approach.
Everything, the onus, everything is actually all on the purchaser, the person who is the foreign investor. If they do the wrong thing, they're the one who gets hoisted on their own petard. But we are looking at a penalty regime that would be a little more broad than that, which would also include anybody who seeks to aid and abet somebody who is trying to contravene the rules.
It didn't go down well with developers in the room.
Developers are competing almost like David and Goliath right now. Any restriction or making it harder for them to be able to sell overseas will virtually kill or putting it into disadvantage of the local developers.
And Treasurer Joe Hockey had a message for foreigners claiming Australia's experiencing a credit-fuelled property bubble.
It is just an easy mantra for international commentators and for analysts based overseas to just say, well, you know, there's a bit of a housing bubble emerging in Australia. That is a rather lazy analysis.
Obviously, rising property prices aren't keeping the Treasurer awake at night.
I don't see, at the moment, any substantial risk.
They're not quite so relaxed and comfortable at the Reserve Bank. Rising property prices are featuring more prominently in the RBA's interest rate deliberations. This month's RBA board minutes said decisions need to take into account the risks to growth that could accompany a large further build-up in asset prices, particularly if that was associated with an increase in leverage or debt, an observation which carries interest rate implications.
We've had a view for a while that we think the RBA wasn't going to cut interest rates any further, and the key reason for that has all along been that we think that the housing market is picking up fairly strongly and the RBA is getting the effects on the economy that it expects from low interest rates.
So how long before rates start rising?